All praise to Yahweh, Shema, Shah, Bashim, Hakadesh. Double honors to the apostles and elders for great no soul that taught me this 100% truth of who well. Salutations to the Akim out there pushing the truth with all sincerity and which still lies to do so. Salutations to the hopeful elect that is scattered among the four corners of the earth that believe in the truth of Yahweh, Shema, Shah, Shalom. So this is 1 Samuel 17 and 44, which reads, And the Philistine said to David, Come to me, and I will give thy flesh into the fowls of the air and to the beasts of the field. Then David said to the Philistine, Thou comest to me with a sword and with a spear and with a shield, but I come to thee in the name of Yahweh of hosts, the power of the armies of Israel, whom thou hast defied. Yeah, and uh, with this word, this is who we come in the name of. You know what I'm saying? You know, we come in the name of the Lord, and, against our enemies. To fight against our enemies. Because that's all we need. We don't come with great armor or the the firearms of this world. You know what I'm saying? Because that's Esau Edom's blessing. You know what I'm saying? Our blessing is this spiritual power, and this understanding of Yahweh Shema Shai, that uh, we go out to the four corners of the earth and we preach this gospel and bring down the strongholds that are upon our people, through the spirit, and to bring down these kingdoms through the words of the Lord. You know what I'm saying? That's all we need. We don't need a mighty armor, you know what I'm saying, or an army to take out these nations, because the person that's going to take out the nations for us, is our power, is Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, and that's all we need. We go out, if we preach this gospel, and it's bringing down the strongholds, spiritually, and it's crippling and weakening this nation, you know, and that's why things are speeding up, because we're close to the end, because the Lord is getting ready to come, take this devil out. But let me read on. This day will the Lord deliver thee into my hand, and I will smite thee and take thy head from thee, and I will give the carcass of the host of the Philistines this day into the fowls of the air and to the wild beasts of the earth, that all the earth may know that there is a power in Israel. And all this assembly shall know that Yahweh saveth not with sword and spear, for the battle of the Lord, for the battle is the Lord's, and he will give you into our hands. Yeah, the Lord is going to fight for us. He's going to be with us in our fight. And he is, as we preach this gospel throughout the four corners of the earth, he's conquering, these people, in the spirit. And he's also, waking up the elect, the hopeful elect, in the spirit, for those that can receive this truth. We're being rescued from the hands of this devil, being brought in, to the Lord spiritually, you know, and getting ready to, for the downfall, of this great devil's kingdom. The Lord's about to take this devil out. But he got to be with us. We got to depend upon him. We can't fight carnally with this devil, going in with his weapons and trying to get an army and fight against his people. And that's what a lot of our people, try to do. But there's we can't win carnally. We got to fight this thing spiritually. Even though on the outside, it may look like we outnumbered and this devil got an upper hand, because he got this mighty military and he's in the power seat and he's in control and he's got this, this is his kingdom and his legislation on his side. The Lord, with all that, with the mighty military, with the, his laws, he got his legislation that, these unrighteous decrees that's written against, the nation of Israel. He's still going to fall. This is his own pit that he has, dug for himself, and he's going to fall in it. The Lord's going to make sure of that, because the Lord is fighting for us. And that's what David was saying, that the Lord is on his side. No matter how much armor you got, your mighty military, you got this big shield. That's what he's telling Goliath. You got this big sword, this big armor. You know what I'm saying? but yet, the Lord is with me, and I'm going to take you in battle. You know what I'm saying? I come to you with nothing but a stone and a sling. And we're going to read on. This is 1 Samuel 7 and 48. And it came to pass when the Philistine arose and came and drew nigh to meet David, that David hasted and ran toward the army to meet the Philistine. And David put his hand in his bag and took thence a stone and a sling and sling it and smote the Philistine in his forehead, that the stone sunk into his forehead, and he fell down to the face of the earth. Yeah, so all David had was this stone, and this stone is a representation of Yahweh Shai. You know what I'm saying? Because he's that cornerstone. He's that rock, that foundation that we place our faith upon. To fight for us in this battle, to take this devil out. You know what I'm saying? And that's all we need. You know. So though he was dead, he was this physical stone. This is also, symbolization of, what it is in the spirit, that the Lord, is our rock and our stone and our belief that, the things that he say that he's going to do for us in these end days, rescuing the elect in the times of tribulation, you know, and taking this devil out and giving us salvation. We trust him. You know what I'm saying? But, he's, that stone spiritually, and he's also going to be that stone physically in his coming when he comes to crush this devil and to take over his kingdom, and give it into him and his people. You know what I'm saying? So, because we're going to rule alongside the Lord. And I read that again, 1 Samuel 17 and 50. Okay, yeah, 1 Samuel 17 and 50. So David prevailed over the Philistine with a sling and with a stone, and smote the Philistine and slew him, but there was no sword in the hand of David. Yeah, so David, all he came was the sling and the stone. That's it. And he no heavy armor. You know what I'm saying? Because he had faith in the Lord. That the Lord was going to give him victory. Over this mighty, uh, you know, uh, warrior. You know what I'm saying? Which was Goliath. Same thing in this time. The Lord. We don't have no mighty military that can take this devil out. You know what I'm saying? The most powerful nation in the world. You saw them so-called white men. The rebirth of the Roman Empire, which is so-called America. All we have is the Lord in this truth, in this word that we're preaching throughout the four corners of the earth. It's for the downfall of these heathen nations. That's all we got. You know what I'm saying? And it's the Lord that's going to fight for us. And the Lord, he's going to show that in his coming. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to show that, who the true prophets are when the Lord pops up on the scene and he, start to put in action on the words that he has given to us to preach to the world. You know what I'm saying? We're going to see, who the true prophet of the Lord is in that day when these certain things start to come to pass and this devil comes down with great wrath. But then, how the Lord becomes victorious over this devil and his diabolical scheme to, take over the world, which he won't. You know what I'm saying? He won't fulfill his enterprise, as the scriptures say. Read on. Therefore David ran and stood upon the Philistine and took his sword and drew it out of the sheath thereof and slew him and cut off his head therewith. And when the Philistines saw their champion was dead, they fled. Yeah. So the Lord, you know what I'm saying? David ain't come to battle with a sword. You know what I'm saying? And David knew that the Lord was on his side and he was going to give him victory over, this great warrior, which was Goliath, this giant, you know what I'm saying? Even though, he thought, David was puny and he saw it as an insult for him, the nation of Israel to send him up in battle against him. You know what I'm saying? The Lord knew that it's like if David knew that the Lord was with him. Yeah, he said, "You laugh at my stature, whatever it may be, but I got the Lord with me, man." You know what I'm saying? No matter how giant you are, no matter what type of equipment you got, you're not going to defeat it. And that's what's going to happen with this devil. No matter what he comes against us with, he's not going to win. You know what I'm saying? Because we stand with the Lord at the end of the day. And he's our rock and our foundation. And he's that mighty stone that's going to slay this devil in his coming. And this is Isaiah 8:14, which read, "And he shall be for a sanctuary, but for a stone of stumbling and for a rock of offense to both the houses of Israel, for a gin and a snare to the inhabitants of Jerusalem." And yeah, the Lord is a sanctuary for the elect of the nation of Israel, but he's also a stone of stumbling unto the 2/3 of his own people. You know what I'm saying? Because this truth is offensive to many, especially to those of the nation of Israel. You know what I'm saying? Because 2/3 of his people, the Lord has appointed to death and destruction, you know, and it's coming. You know what I'm saying? And this truth is also offensive to the other heathen nations. You know what I'm saying? To for them to know that that the Lord is only for His people, and that they can't receive salvation, and that they're going to the servitude. They don't want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? So when they see the men on the highways and byways and they bringing out this truth, and they're letting you know, like, yo, you're going into servitude, and we're the hierarchy. They don't want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? Like, they ready to fight and go to war with you because of the truth, because this truth is offensive to pricks their spirit. You know what I'm saying? And that's why there's so much hatred towards the truth, and especially the men of the Lord, and especially with our own people, because they caught up in the luxuries and the ways of Babylon, and that's what they want to hold on to. You know what I'm saying? They love their master, but and these other heathen nations, they see us, because of the state that we're in, as the filth of the earth. You know what I'm saying? You so-called, Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you know what I'm saying? We're despised by these other heathen nations, because we're at the bottom now, and they can't see us ruling over all these nations. Like, these people gonna be the hierarchy of society? No way. They the filth of the earth. You know what I'm saying? These devils, they hate us so much, our people so much, that, you know, the land in which they stole, for the Native Americans, you know what I'm saying? They don't want to give back. You know what I'm saying? You see, the so-called Mexicans, you know what I'm saying, which they push down into Mexico. You know, they got these old protect the borders campaign and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? And they was like, oh, we don't need these immigrants here. They need to go. You know what I'm saying? And they got the big ICE rain going on, deporting you, Jake, back to your countries or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Your so-called countries, right? But the people that were here, you know what I'm saying? They despise you for coming back, for trying to claim something that was yours in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? These devils, they stole this land from you. And now they hate you for trying to come back to claim what's yours. You know what I'm saying? And that's the wickedness of this devil. That's why this devil got to be taken out. You know? But again, it's going to be, you know, uh, upon the Lord, in which the Lord, destroys this place and this devil and take them out of his reign. You know? But a lot of our people, they too are offended by the Lord and His truth. You know what I'm saying? That's why they, because they're trapped in the ways of which this devil has set upon them, and they trust in that. You know, this is Luke 6:46, which reads, "And why call me Lord, Lord, and do not the things which I say?" Yeah, many of our people caught up in plantation Christianity. I mean, they call him Jesus Christ anyway, which is the idol God, so they don't really. But they think they calling upon the Lord, and the Lord's like, "Yo, why you calling upon me, and you don't do the things that what the Lord tell you to do? The Lord tell you not to celebrate these wicked holidays. Yesterday was so-called Valentine's Day, right? You know what I'm saying? Which is, a wicked pagan holiday from Rome called Lupercalia. You know what I'm saying? You can look it up yourself, whatever. Which they pay homage to an idol fertility god, whatever it may be, right? But I'm sure many of our people, you so-called uh, Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you Jake, you Israelites, were celebrating that day. You know what I'm saying? Trying to please their woman pleasers. You know what I'm saying? Wicked, effeminate, bitch ass Jake. You know what I'm saying? That do anything just because a bitch tell them to. You know, try to please their women because they don't want to lose them or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? You know, they were celebrating that day. I'm sure. You know, and that's what the Lord told us not to do. The Lord told us not to follow upon the ways of this heathen. You know what I'm saying? Celebrating his wicked pagan holidays. Because you're paying homage to another God. You know what I'm saying? And the Lord is a jealous God. He don't want you serving other gods. You know, so you not keeping the law, statute, and commandments, eating defiled foods in which you're not supposed to eat, celebrating the wicked ways of, you know, this society that we're caught upon in the heathen ways, celebrating their holidays and whatnot. They high holidays, you know what I'm saying? Which the Lord gave us our high holy days in which we ought to celebrate, you know what I'm saying? But you know, our people, we don't. That's not a popular opinion, you know what I'm saying? And you know, that's not something they want to partake in. You know, they just caught up in the traditions that had been given to them by the enemy and caught up in wickedness. You know what I'm saying? So they trapped in that pit, you know, in the way of this devil, and that's what they choose, you know, um, to take their pleasures upon. You know what I'm saying? In that wickedness, instead of uh, pleasing the Lord. You know what I'm saying? They want to be pleasing into the ways of this world. Read knowing whosoever cometh to me and heareth my sayings and doeth them, I will show you to whom he is like. And yeah, and that's the hopeful elected. You know, that's who's gonna, turn to the Lord and hear this truth, this 100% truth and change their way. You know what I'm saying? Is the the hopeful elected of the nation of Israel that the Lord has, um, chosen from the foundation of the earth, return back into him. You know what I'm saying? But he is like a man which built a house and diggeth deep and laid the foundation on a rock, and when the flood arose, the stream beat vehemently upon that house that could not shake it, for it was founded upon a rock. And yeah, and that's what's gonna happen when this devil, come down like a flood, you know what I'm saying, in this great wrath. We're not gonna budge. You know, um, we're gonna stand upon the foundation that the Lord has given us to. We're gonna, trust upon Him, in these times to come. You know what I'm saying? Because we've built up upon a strong foundation upon Yahweh Shema Shai, and we trusted Him to get us through these troublesome times that are to come, which is the times of Jacob's trouble. You know what I'm saying? When the devil gonna come down with great wrath and come up like a flood. You know what I'm saying? We're still gonna stand because we're standing strong in the Lord. You know what I'm saying? It's the Lord that's gonna stand up for us and get us through that um, troublesome time you know, that the whole world's gonna have to face here, in these last days. You know what I'm saying? So it's because our trust in the Lord and that foundation we have built upon that rock that we're going to be able to withstand unto the end and receive victory, over this devil, and the Lord, rescuing us and giving us our salvation. Read knowing, but he that heareth and doeth not is like a man that that without a foundation, but an house upon the earth, against which the stream did beat vehemently, and immediately it fell, and the ruin of the house was great. Yeah, so only those that trust in the Lord and that rock has built their foundation upon that rock, which is Yahweh Shema Shai, is going to be able to withstand this great flood that this devil about to come with in these last days. You know what I'm saying? We're not gonna, um, be uh, take it down, you know, um, in His destruction that the Lord is bringing upon the earth. You know what I'm saying? This devil is bringing destruction, but it's actually for his own downfall. You know what I'm saying? He diggeth his own pit. The Lord has set him up. You know what I'm saying? You know, for his own destruction. You know what I'm saying? Because the Lord, at the end, he's going to destroy this devil. And it's coming. Reading on. This is Psalms 40:1. I waited patiently for the Lord, and he inclined unto me and heard my cry. He brought me up also out of a horrible pit, out of the miry clay, and set me slack and set my feet upon a rock and established my goings. And that's what the Lord did. The Lord rescued us out of the pit, you know what I'm saying, of the miry clay, of the strongholds, of this world, of that this devil has placed upon us. This devil has, set us up for failure, you know what I'm saying? And the Lord has rescued us from the pit, restoring us in the spirit, you know, to return upon return unto Yahweh Shem Al Shai. You know what I'm saying? The Lord has, um, redeemed our soul, redeemed our spirit, and given us His truth. You know what I'm saying? For those that are the hopeful elect that believe in the 100% truth of Yahweh Shem Al Shai. The Lord has rescued us from the pits of this devil. You know what I'm saying? Because this devil, you know, uh, he has, has set up, you know, um, downfalls for us to, to be against our Lord. You know what I'm saying? It's him that, it's all through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shai that the Lord allowed the devil to do so. But it's him that set up these ways for us to go against our Lord, for us, to have us celebrating these wicked pagan holidays like so-called Valentine's Day, Thanksgiving, Christmas, or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? This devil that's all been set up for us to be in adversity with our power. You know what I'm saying? To go against our power. He gave us these ways, and a lot of our people are trapped upon it. You know what I'm saying? And they see these things and these holidays as the things of innocence. You know what I'm saying? Like yesterday was the day of love or whatnot. No, that's a day of wickedness. But that's a pit, you know, that the Lord has rescued us from, bringing us out of that way. And to show you that this devil, you know, is set in a trap. This is Psalms 119:85. The proud have digged pits for me, which are not after thy law. Yeah. Now who's the proud? Esau, even the so-called white man. And he diggeth these pits, you know what I'm saying? And he, for us, you know, for our downfall, you know what I'm saying? And, these ways are not of the law of Yahweh Shema Shai. He took the righteousness away from us, you know what I'm saying? And he gave us, his own way to follow, you know what I'm saying? Um, in plantation Christianity, what did they tell you? Oh, the law's been done away with. We don't got to keep the laws. So if the law's been done away with, and we don't got to keep the laws, why is there still sin? Is not sin the transgression of the law? So what you're saying, it doesn't make sense. But that's the mind state in the pit that this devil had us trapped in. You know what I'm saying? He had us believing that, oh, well, that's Old Testament. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you don't got to keep the laws. That was the Old Testament God. But, don't commit adultery, but you can go ahead, you can eat pork. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, but that's just the way of this devil. You know what I'm saying? You know, he he set the way for us to be against our power. You know what I'm saying? He gave you um his version of the scriptures or whatnot, telling you that um the Lord loves everybody. Anybody can repent. You know what I'm saying? The Lord is just all loving. You know what I'm saying? Um, you know, uh, that, the Lord, he pretty much came to save the world. And, when we come into the truth, we find out, those things are not true. You know what I'm saying? But that's the version of the gospel that this devil has given it to us. He twisted all the scriptures and gave us a misinterpretation and a misunderstanding of what the scriptures, you know, are truly saying. And now that the Lord has brought His truth back into the earth, we know those are the hopeful elect. We understand that the Lord does hate. You know what I'm saying? And we do got to keep the Lord's statutes and commandments to the best of our abilities. But we know that's not going to save us. It's the truth in our belief in Yahweh Shem Shai that's going to give us our salvation. But we do keep the Lord's statutes and commandments to the best of our ability because that's the righteous way that the Lord has set forth. You know what I'm saying? To separate us from these other heathen nations and to give us guidance, in this day. And that's that rock and that way that the Lord has set our feet in to walk in that that righteous path. You know what I'm saying? And let's go back to that. This is again Psalms 40:2. He brought me up also out of the horrible pit, out of the miry clay, and set my feet upon a rock and established my goings. Yeah, we set upon the righteous way, that rock of Yahweh Shema Shai, to go in the right direction. You know what I'm saying? He have put a new song in my mouth, even praise into our power. Many shall see it and fear and shall trust in the Lord. Yeah, and what's that new song? This 100% truth of Yahweh Shema Shai. That new song um, that is being sung, by the prophets of the Lord, which talk about Revelations 14:3, that new song, of the 144,000 that they were going to preach into the four corners of the earth, that were going to help awaken our people in these last days. And we know that the awakening is all part of end time prophecy. Going into Ezekiel 37, that the awakening of the nation of Israel, those dry bones, you know what I'm saying? That new song that was going to be sung, that was going to bring us back into our fold, and the Lord was going to, reveal unto him his true self and tell you that, we are the people of the nations of Israel, you so-called blacks, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and that, it is only you that the Lord came to die for and give salvation to, and He's going to give you victory over your enemy, for turning back into Him and following after His ways. He's going to defend you in these last days, even though this devil's, this got a diabolical, wicked plan to make you his slave forever with his digital order. He's coming with this RFID microchipping, what I'm saying, in these last days. But that's a pit that's digging it for himself, for his own downfall. Because, that continuation of his enterprise is going to be overthrown by the Lord in this last day. Reading on, blessed is the man that maketh the Lord his trust, and respecteth not the proud, nor such as turn aside to lies. Many, O Lord, my power, are thy wonderful works which thou hast done, and thy thoughts which are as to usward, they cannot be reckoned and up in order unto thee. If I would declare and I speak of them, they are more than can be numbered. Sacrifice and offering thou dost not desire. My ears hast thou opened. Burnt offering and sin offering has not required. Thou hast not required. Then said I, lo, I come. In the volume of the book it is written of me. I delight to do thy will, O my power. Thy law is within my heart. Yeah, and that's what the men of the Lord do. The men of the Lord and those men, women, and children that are seeking after, the true ways of Yahweh Hashem Mashai, they delight in the ways of the Lord. And they keep the Lord's statutes and commandments to the best of their abilities. You know what I'm saying? And the men of the Lord that are, that the Lord has chosen to be out on the highways and byways, preaching the truth, helping to wake the elect of the nation of Israel, and also, make their daily epistles and these videos or whatnot. that are streamed and, to help, awaken the elect. They delight in that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the spirit of Yahweh Shimon Shai that's upon them. That allows them to do the work of the Lord to help, uh, awaken the elect and preach the downfall of the heathen nations. You know what I'm saying? To bring in, the will of the Lord upon the face of the earth. And that's, what they spend their time dwelling in, you know, um, trying to please the Lord. You know what I'm saying? And they, put away the ways of the world and things, holidays like so-called Valentine's Day that many of our people celebrated yesterday. They don't take a part of it because, that's a vain thing. That's meaningless to us. We don't give a shit about that. You know what I'm saying? We know that's a, worship of a pagan God. And, we're more so seeking after the Lord and thinking of ways to please him. You know what I'm saying? And we just want, the Lord to be that safe covering upon us in the destruction that's about to come. So we're trying to seek our salvation to the best of our ability, hoping that we're among the hopeful elect that the Lord is going to beam up on the chariots in his coming. Oh, did that already. Don't need that. So this is, read this. This is Daniel 2 and 31. Thou, O king, sawest, and behold, a great image. This great image, whose brightness was excellent, stood before thee, and the form thereof was terrible. The image's head was of fine gold, and that head is the representation of the Babylonian Empire, and his breast and his arms of silver, and that's the silver portion of the statue is the representation of the Persian Mede Empire. His belly and his thighs of brass, and that's the representation of the Grecian Empire. His legs of iron, and his feet part of iron and part of clay, and the legs of iron are representation of the Roman Empire, and his feet part iron and clay is the um uh is the um why am I is the new Roman Empire, the pretty much the resurrection of the Roman Empire, which is so-called you know uh America and the EU and Stocky, yeah, is the resurrection or the Renaissance, the restoration of the Roman Empire. You know what I'm saying? You know the the fall of the Roman Empire and the resurrection of the 10 toes of the EU and the NATO nations. That came about in the resurrection of the Roman Empire. You know what I'm saying? So and that's what that represents. Where thou saw thou sawest thou sawest too that a stone which is representation, that stone is representation of Yahweh Shai, was cut out without hands, which smote the image upon his feet that were of iron and clay, and break them to pieces. This was the iron, the clay, the brass, the silver, and the gold broken to pieces together, and became like the chaff of the summer threshing floors, and the wind carried them away, that no place was found for them. And the stone that smote the image became a great mountain and filled the whole earth. Yeah, and that's Yahweh Shai taking out these other nations. Which uh, in his coming. And that statue is a representation, and that stone, him striking that stone and destroying it, and the statue collapsing, is the Lord claiming the kingdoms back for his. You know what I'm saying? Because America, so-called America, it stands on all the the ways that were brought upon uh, from all those wicked nations, those wicked beast nations that were before it. You know what I'm saying? It still keep a lot of those ways that most of those kingdoms kept. You know what I'm saying? You'll find today in so-called America. It stands upon it. It's showing you that, them being at the bottom and all those other nations being on top of it. It upholds all those wickedness of all those nations that were before it. You know what I'm saying? And that's why the Lord has come in to destroy this place, because wicked is upheld. You know what I'm saying? In these days, and is upheld by what the powerful nation was the resurrection of the Roman Empire, so-called America, in Great Britain. You know, this day. You know what I'm saying? You so the Lord, that stone, just like in David, that took out Goliath, is also that great millstone, or that stone, in its representation of him coming in and destroying all these countries. And that great stone grew and what took over all the nations. Why? Because you know the Lord is going to claim what's rightfully his, and him we're going to rule. The nation of Israel is going to rule along beside the Lord. You know what I'm saying? And all these heathen nations are going to be beneath us. We're going to rule over all these nations, and it's going to be a righteous rulership. You know what I'm saying? So that's what this is a representation of. The Lord is going to come conquer all of this. He's that great stone, that rock, that we, have built that foundation upon, for the hope of the elect, who the Lord is going to give salvation to. And in his coming, he's going to destroy this place, and those are the hope of the elect he's going to save, is going to be there with them. And we're going to rule aside the Lord. All the nation of Israel is going to be amongst all the nations. But a lot of our people, because they didn't build that foundation upon that rock, to those that he was a stumbling block and offense to, they're going to be destroyed. But they're going to be brought back in the kingdom, and they're going to rule alongside us. And these other heathen nations, what I'm saying, are going to be beneath them. You know what I'm saying? So this is Matthew 24:29, which reads, "Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory." Yeah. And the other nations showing you that the Lord ain't coming for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Uh, why are the other nations gonna mourn if he's gonna in his coming, if he's coming to save everybody? Nah, because the Lord is coming to take out this heathen. He's only coming to save the elected nation of Israel, and it's coming. Reading on. "And he shall send his angels with a great sound of trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from the end of the heaven to the from one end of heaven to the other." Yeah, so that's what the Lord's going to do in his coming. These nations, they're going to see the Lord coming in the chariots with his army, bringing destruction upon this place, taking this devil out. That great stone that was struck in, taking out these other nations, and is coming, through his chariots, and the nuclear missiles, which is part of the Lord army that the Lord is going to use, to take out Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, in his primary place of rulership, which is so-called America. This place is going to be the lake of fire. It's going to be completely destroyed. And the Lord has taken, this place out of the way. And this place is going to be a memorial for the wickedness, that was memorial to show you that the Lord has taken out the wickedness out of the place to work, out of the face of the earth. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be, it's pretty much going to be a monument, you know, showing you that, yo, look, this is the place that the Lord destroyed, you know what I'm saying, for all the wickedness that is upheld from these other heathen nations. Going back to that statue in Daniel, them being about the feet and upholding the wickedness of the world, in their kingdom. You know what I'm saying? But it's the Lord, it's that representation, Slaki is the representation of that stone, even going back to David, that the Lord is with us and he's, you know, is going to bring us or fight for us, you know what I'm saying? And be that rock and that foundation, that's going to come against our enemies, you know what I'm saying? Because we trust in him. That stone is a representation of Yahweh Shem Shai, that he's going to be the person that's going to redeem us, in these last days and take out this devil and, put us back in rulership as rightfully so, that the Lord has, you know, um, put in place from the foundation of earth. Though we fell, the Lord, he fixed it so that, he can send his son to, you die for the sins of the nation of Israel so we can be restored, you know. So the Lord is our rock and that we trust into, and he's going to, rescue the hopeful of life in these last days and restore the nation of Israel in whole. Even the 2/3, they're going to be restored in our nation. But then, they're going to come back to the hopeful light that it make it through on the first go around. So that's pretty much it. I hope this lesson been edifying. I just want to say, Kohola Yahweh Shem Shai, Kwame Shirala, Baba Shalom.